Well, I realized at the end of the last stream that I missed the email that you're supposed to get. So here it is. Ethics. Simply put, it's not our job to arbitrarily decide upon some code of ethics just because we're the first ones to do this, to our knowledge. That's the government's job to figure out. Figure out long after we've made headway for it to no longer apply to us. It's fundamentally flawed to apply ethical reasoning to this anyway, because humanity's code of ethics is based upon nothing more than our knowledge and understanding of life forms similar to ourselves. We don't have ethics for killing bacteria or plants, only creatures that we can convincingly project our emotions onto. The humans in our VMs operate completely different from us on a fundamental level, and therefore should not be taken any more seriously than a machine that's programmed to print "I feel sad." We're engineers, not philosophers. Yay, let's go. Reflection. I'm so excited for another Yuri focused one because Yuri didn't get enough focus. Am I bothering you? No. I'm glad it's a Monika focused one as well then. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. While it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here, it's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a bit of prodding. It's not bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. Boo! Boo! Everyone else has to do the work. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with, or anyone is talking, or anyone else exists, or I exist, or anyway, the joke continues. Ugh. I kind of feel like sneezing, but also not. Yuri glances across the room at Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is not lobbing in the air, but pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Maybe I should say something. No need, they ran out of cookie. What a waste. Rude. They could pick up bits of cookie off the floor, because that's appropriate. They've become really good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. I'm not. Of course, I'm happy for Natsuki and Sayori. I'm not happy that there's another Yuri-focused story point. And the next one is a Yuri-focused one. Because we clearly didn't see enough of that, but you know, what would I know? Sayori seems oh wait, that's Yuri speaking. Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen. The two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well. Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? Though that may be partially my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one engaging the club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. Good. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about the times during lunch? Do you meet up with friends? No, surprisingly, Yuri doesn't have friends. I couldn't tell you why. I just read. Oh. But I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off after a morning of classes. Do you always read fantasy? Oh, not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but that's only because I'm in the middle of the series. There are still 2 more books after this one. Oh, hooray. I guess those long books suit you well, since you spend so much time reading. Well, fantasy may be my favourite, but after that, I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity. Right. Oh yeah? Even like romance? Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them. Oh, Yuri, you know what I mean. Monika lowers her voice. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. I don't get this. I may not personally like you, considering your personality, but as a standard of like being human, or well, a human in a set universe that has an anime visual aesthetic to us, you would be widely considered as pretty. So it kind of felt like, that's the sound. Please don't make me think about the past. Sorry, I got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That'd be so much fun. Absolutely not. Really? Even if it's just between the 2 of us? Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki. Try picking someone with a less obnoxious attitude, like literally anyone else in this universe. Ouch. Sorry, I didn't mean that. No, you fucking did mean that. Your brain defaults to being garbage. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel embarrassed to re-experience. Just realized that fucking Yuri got a hug, but Natsuki didn't, and Natsuki arguably needed a hug more. Just, you know, as a point. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. Yeah, great. Can you hurry up and grow out of having a terrible personality? For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. Kill me, please. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. Shoot me. Hey, were you talking about me? No, we were just... Oh, we were talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Like a couple of years ago, I guess? I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah, what was it that inspired you to get you more into it? No, I guess. Let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things, and I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I hated everyone around me and just wanted to be by myself. Ha 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 ha. Give me a moment. Hey, kind of like Yuri. I actually don't know if that picked up. I fucking hope not, but that'd be kind of funny if it did. Monika? Sorry, wait, that doesn't make sense. Hmm. Sorry, I'm just messing around with the microphone and stuff. That's completely wrong, so still, it's really cool that you both found your thing. They're almost like complete opposites, but like they helped you through a lot of hard times. You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much. How high do you think it would go if you stacked the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long so I could say that I've read more than you. Not that I actually have the money for that. Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page. Wow. Wow, that's a horrible thing to say. Especially considering Natsuki was kidding. It was a joke. Yuri is so horrible that I actively want to cut this now, but you know. Also, like, not because it's content. I know, I was just joking. I could never actually read books like yours, it's too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring. Fuck! Oh my god. Holy fuck. I wanna strangle myself. It's not boring. Chill, I said for me, not for you. I can have my own opinion, I just think it's too convoluted. Sayori, are those from the floor? I knew it. I knew Sayori would eat the cookies off the floor. Also, holy shit is Yuri unlikable. Fucking Natsuki was just trying to, like, be nice and explain that she personally couldn't get into Yuri's series, and Yuri's like, you suck at everything because you don't like my books. Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. But my hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there even if you can't see them. Fine. Sayori trots out the door and Natsuki follows. Yuri, you look a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have calling my hobby boring? You're scum. Not to mention, you actually kicked this whole thing off. It's actually like really funny that like Natsuki was like trying to genuinely show interest, even though that she knew that she wouldn't like enjoy it. And then fucking Yuri has to be like, I'm garbage. Nobody likes me because I'm fucking awful to everyone else. Well, she did correct herself. She didn't even say your hobby was boring. Fuck, where is it? Where is it? I can never read books like yours. It's too boring for me. She didn't correct herself. Because she never actually said anything wrong. She stated that for herself, it wouldn't be interesting. Hardly. She was so condescending. No. No, you were condescending. It's actually ironic that that's the opinion you have on others when that's actually what you're doing yourself. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I understand that's not for everyone. But she knows as well as... What? But she knows well how much she's mean to me. So how about she just leave me alone instead of needlessly telling me about all the things you hate about it. Again, she fucking complimented you and pointed out that she herself doesn't have the stamina for it. I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right, this won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like. Oh my fucking god. Monika, you usually are right and insightful or have a genuine character flaw which is interesting to watch. But in this situation you're wrong, objectively. Especially in literature. In the literature club, so I should figure out how to mediate discussions to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books and also your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. Well, okay. This is something that I have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you. Common ground isn't necessary, I just wish to be respected. Ironic coming from the person who completely disrespects anyone who doesn't agree with your opinions. Also ironic from the person that doesn't respect anyone else. And is selfish and condescending and actually doesn't deserve as much attention she gets. That then, either way I'll do my best. I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. That's because you're unlikable. I trust you, Monika, but I'm skeptical. Yeah, I trust you too, Monika, but Yuri is unlikable. Monika, you can't carry an entire chapter by yourself. Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the literature club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But that also means we should be mindful about how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into a positive energy for each other. Aren't you being a little dramatic about this? This is important to me. Well, sorry, I just feel like I'm being accused of something. That's because you are, and it isn't fair. No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if it came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the literature club, don't you think? I think Natsuki subconsciously thinks she's being targeted here. And she may think that, who knows, let's see what Monika's point is. I'm sure we're gonna have different opinions on, I have a difference of opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club. If you say so, sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Sayori, what's your favorite food? I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit? That's easy, cherries. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty. What? Cherries are delicious. Whoa, that's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just don't understand how someone could think cherries are nasty. How does it make you feel? I don't know, sad? Defensive maybe? Yeah, I got defensive. See, the reason you had such a strong reaction was because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. Yeah, Yuri. Because you're the person who should actually be accused of all of this. That's weird, right? Something like taste should be completely subjective. But when I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you just said it was your own opinion? It has to do with our ways to... It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. See, this is a learning experience and doesn't actually come off as condescending, and it's because Natsuki wants to learn more. Yuri is going to be a stuck-up sook about this entire thing because she's a sook. You're talking about the reality of cherries, not your feelings about them, like Sayori. Let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that cherries are nasty. Good. So what if I instead of that, I said like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, that's fine as long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word. Okay, so cherries was a weird kind of example, but it gets the point across. Oh wow, it's like Natsuki wasn't using objective language. She like didn't challenge that. She didn't say anything that was objective. She provided an opinion. She didn't say books are bad, novels are terrible. She says she personally finds them boring. This time around, instead of talking about the cherries, I talked about my feelings, and Sayori didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like when we receive an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something. Oh, I know that. I was just... Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. No, call her out, but on the fact that she has a terrible personality. But does anyone have any thoughts so far? Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter to protect someone's feelings. And this is a genuine statement. It can come off as mean-spirited or hurtful, but like, it's a question. in a way. It's more a statement to bring up a further question. Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I only suggest it as a tool to help you turn your differences to a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori? Whatever you say, cherry hater. But come on. Sorry, I actually like cherry. I was just saying that to help demonstrate. What the heck? I've been duped. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry sundae? You are welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president. Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable. Oh, like you wouldn't turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You were certainly a fan of those cupcakes I brought in the other week. I was reading and not keeping track of them. Oh, that's enough. We're getting off topic. Okay, so now that we've got the gist of it, how about we try something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Yuri, do you want to start? Well, I'd rather not, no. And how come? Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight. No, it would be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm, rational discussion. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child, you don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's a little more respectable to speak your mind. Respectable? Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Monika recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point of the exercise isn't exactly like, it's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally, you're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. Actually, I believe that's why I enjoy manga more, because I can see the visual details that the author is going for. I look for stories that are more imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level. Oh, well that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were going to say that manga's for children or something. Like, I don't hear enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga. I'm not clueless about manga. I've read my own fair share when I was younger. Why, are you serious? How come you never told me? Because I'm past that point in my life and I'd prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. Excuse me? Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Yeah, okay, that... In this specific scenario, Natsuki tried to be nice. Yuri was going to be nice for a little bit, and then spent half the time going on about how manga is immature. Let's try to keep things subjective. Because if you're implying that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? Thanks, Monika. You are objectively correct here. Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. Natsuki, nobody's immature. I actually think Natsuki is talking about the both of them here. Based on facial language and communication and context, I actually think, of course, because we don't have voice acting and because we can't magically see into Natsuki's head, we only have the things around it. Maybe Natsuki's being targeting, maybe Natsuki's talking about herself, maybe Natsuki's talking about everyone. I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't subjective. Okay, it bores me, that's subjective. But I mean, the thing about... This is ridiculous. You see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset. I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly looked down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least bit of respect for the things I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mind my own business. What, have you looked in the mirror? Tell me again about respect after calling all of my interests immature. You can't... Please stop. Please. I'd prefer it if the game would register that I hit next. You don't mean the things you're saying right now. In this case, technically both are in the right and both are in the wrong. But Yuri has this tendency to pick fights because, well, she did actually fucking say everything that Natsuki has pointed out, because unfortunately Natsuki might be a hothead and blunt, but is also objective because she's a hothead and blunt. Let's just be friends. I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So please don't invite yourself to try and solve other people's problems next time, okay? Yuri's piercing words send the club room into a choked silence as she gathers her things. She leaves. Holy crap. I've never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed. Well, you weren't very nice either, so... I was just saying. How did this happen? It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was really a stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person, and nobody would have expected this. Wow, holy fuck, Sayori, you clearly didn't pay attention during that argument. Well, at least my 3 favorite characters are on screen, and I don't even have to worry about Yuri showing up. But I guess we're really sensitive about the things we love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Fuck, Natsuki, you're not making it easy. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it, that was kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things, it's about recognizing and understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. Has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So, I see what you're trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her, not the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. No, she's not. She's exactly like that. Literally, her fucking word choice is what led to this argument. Natsuki is objectively in the correct here. Like, I know that I personally don't like Yuri, but it's because of things like this, where she creates a problem and then still acts like the victim halfway through. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. Actually, I think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just like saying that instinctively. Just setting myself up to cause more problems. This wasn't your fault, Monika. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally came out, because I can just move on now. But it's fine, I promise. Let's just get our minds off this, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry, I'm just bitter. Everything's okay. Like, emotional maturity right here. Natsuki's going off and then going, fuck, I don't really mean that. I'm sorry, I'm just bitter right now. Holy shit. Imagine being the youngest member of the club, but being more mature than the smart, mature one. Fuck me, bro. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have answers, but I at least know we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. Monika says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. This was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other the least out of anyone, and this is the reason. As Sayori and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monika sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really just have to come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? The more your club grows, the more likely these issues are to come into focus. So yes, you're just going to have to accept that some members would just be incompatible. Monika desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't appear to be in sight. Fuck you, Yuri. You're a child. Alright, reflection part 2. A new day arrives. I probably should have stopped. I'm already forcing myself to sit through Yuri's bullshit once. Sayori arrives at the club room earlier than usual. That is, not late. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at her desk and pulls out a sheet of paper primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made it a bit of a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings onto paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve as her best inspiration for poetry. My heart feels vacant because a ship sailed away. Yo. Yeah. Natsuki? Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but it would have been more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me listening in on your poetry thing. Yeah, thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? Oh no, I just do it whenever it's convenient. You're not interrupting. Where's Monika, by the way? Oh, she's out in the hallway. Huh? Why? Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri is too nervous to come into the club room by herself, so... Jeez, does Yuri really let things bother her for that long? She can't control her feelings. For some people, it's hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while, but as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back. I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend it like it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered by this. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it's making me feel really guilty, and I hate that. It's okay to have feelings. It doesn't make you weak. Let's figure this out together. Fine. But only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe one that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from. Well, I was happy with the way things were before we had that conversation yesterday. What part of the conversation made you upset? Was it Yuri being mean about the manga? Maybe, but I doubt it though. Because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But something really got to me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen. Is it because it came from Yuri? No, why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe. I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me, because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide that they don't like me, or manga, or whatever. But Yuri acts like it's too good to even give it a chance. I'm sorry, everyone deserves a chance. Yeah, exactly. Would you give Yuri's books a chance? After this, obviously not. What about before this? Well, I would until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind, then it's not hard to realize the story can be deep and meaningful without it being needlessly complicated. I see. There it is! That's what I said! Fucking Natsuki would be willing to step into Yuri's shoes for as long as her mind could fucking accept it. And I said it. I fucking knew it. You know why? It's because Natsuki's an actual likable character and Yuri's stuck up. I see, but you know, I like Yuri's books. Yeah, but you like manga more, right? Sorry, shakes her head. I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, the manga, it's really honest and fun and easy to just let go with. And the fantasy is a lot to interpret and uncover. It's really rewarding to have some good quiet time together with it. But the most important thing is that both the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So, I love them both. And I think there's room for them both to be together in the same club. And I just feel like maybe they'll have more in common than you think. How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like first it was Monika when I was new to the club, and then it was you, and now it's Yuri. And I'm always like, oh, that person is being such a jerk. If they realize that, then we could at least get along. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everybody's just a jerk to me because nobody likes me. Oh, it hurts. And I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it. Natsuki. Sayori puts a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder. You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everybody else. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know, and sometimes that makes it harder for us to understand each other. I think that sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communications, and it makes it feel like you magically connected with them. But other times, even if both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or get communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles with a lot. You know, the worst part here is that Natsuki feels guilty for ultimately being right, and Yuri will be justified in her terrible personality and her inability to accept other people because she has this selfish ideal. Natsuki admits that she has a problem and wants to understand it more, and actively goes out of her way to try and improve. She even was willing, because you could see it with the way she was speaking, to at least take an attempt with Yuri's stories. But Yuri, on the other side of it, this coin, didn't care. She saw herself as better than Natsuki, and even through context clues admitted it. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of reflection and self-awareness and vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you. Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends, and I guess my dad. Like when I don't get good grades, or even stupid things like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's just letting them win, and I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if it goes wrong, and there's even a tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry, and I find ways to blame everything else instead. Do you see yourself as better than Yuri? If I said that, then I would really just sound really full of myself. No. Our thoughts and feelings are two different things. Even if we don't like our feelings, we have to understand them if we want to be more... if we want to learn more about themselves. That's part of vulnerability, you know? Accepting that we have feelings that we don't like. I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person. Because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. Oh, pardon me. Alright. She's a judgmental know-it-all who's stuck in her edgy phase, and that I'm just way above that garbage. In a literal sense, you are objectively better. And your feelings may have existed before this point, but they've actually been confirmed and reassured by her inability to act like a normal human being. But I'm terrible for feeling that way. You're not terrible. You are not your feelings. But you are not your feelings. Say that to yourself out loud. Fine, I'm not my feelings. The way that I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommate. You live in the same house and you got to see each other every day. And even if you can ignore each other most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then. It's gonna make you feel like poop. So the other option is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from each other and even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? That's actually a very powerful like message. How do you know so much about this stuff? I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with. called depression. Depression? You're like the happiest person I know. I'm not my feelings. I want to be a good person like you. Oh, it hurts so much. Oh, you little sweetheart. We're all good people. You and Yuri and Monika. And I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you. Natsuki remains silent, feeling a little overwhelmed. Despite Sayori's kind reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it the result of her vulnerability? No, it wasn't as though she was inflicted with a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound, one that simply cannot be bandaged and left alone any longer. Oh! For a story that isn't about Natsuki and Sayori, they certainly are carrying this story. Yuri, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you. Please don't yell at me. Oh, I'm not gonna yell at you. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair for me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time I won't just jump in and try and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine. You're not mad at me? Don't worry, every other human being on the planet is, just to make up for it. I thought you were the one mad at me. I was so awful yesterday. Yuri curls up, recalling the details of the argument. I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset. That's because your feelings and the person you are very good roommates, which makes you an objectively terrible person. Hold on, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay? Yuri pauses for a second and manages a nod. Monika takes a seat next to her on the staircase. I am having a lot of negative thought patterns and I can't get away from them. If Yuri gets another hug, I swear to fucking God. What kind of negative thought patterns? Like, everyone hates me. That's good because they're realistic. Especially Natsuki. Oh, it's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you. How do you know? Well, because Monika thinks back to the time that she found herself in an altercation with Natsuki. And how a display of maturity from Monika was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well. I think that Natsuki is naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels the need to protect herself. But you know, she's not really a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She just... Well, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some kind of degree of kindness before she feels comfortable returning it. Oh. But that means the burden is on me. And I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Don't look down on them for their hobbies. Don't treat them like garbage because their hobbies are different than yours. Don't completely disregard every other aspect of that person's life because they're different from you. You know, just simple stuff. Every time I open my mouth, Yuri shakes her head at herself and tugs on her hair. It's okay, Yuri, you don't need to beat yourself up. I think anyone would like you if they got the chance to know you. I don't know the exact time, but I'm pretty sure it's about I actually have the ability to access the hold on, give me a moment. I should be able to figure out how much time I've spent in the game, and I'll tell you how many hours proves that the statement is objectively incorrect. Here it is. Filter. More. Okay, I guess I can't access this on my phone. That's nice. Okay, I lied. Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think I was weird and talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. And Natsuki even said that she found it more respectable when people speak their mind, so I did, and then she hated me anyway. So, you even admit that your mind is to look down on Natsuki. Well, there you go. That's literally all the evidence. One line, I'm so tempted to make that the thumbnail of this video, but it's not going to be, so. That was enough to confirm my fears. But Sayori and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right? Yuri doesn't have a response. Yeah, but Yuri actively doesn't beat your fucking hobbies. Hey, what do you think of Natsuki? I don't think about her. That's not what I meant, really. I was just wondering if you had an opinion of her. I do. What is it? Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person. So for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior despite my taste, wow, the fucking hypocrisy, it's right here. That's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. And it makes me think bad things about her. But everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong. And my feelings about her are wrong. Am I wrong to get so upset over something so childish and inconsequential? If I was talking to a normal human being, no, because it's natural. Different people have different opinions. But your opinions are literally what you project onto her after doing it to her and Natsuki, like, blatantly showing the exact opposite. No, Yuri, feelings are never wrong. Well, they're not right. That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know? They're just a state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I learned when I first started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way, or we can, you know, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I can never be mad at you for feeling a certain way. No, but you can be mad at her for being mean. It's just about how you handle them. And I think working through the feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork. Yuri wears a dejected expression. That's because she literally doesn't believe that she has to do any work to help anyone else out ever. And after everyone else in the club has objectively gone out of their way to make Yuri feel better, the second that there's someone else who's similar in that one regard, Yuri doesn't believe that she has to make the effort to be nice to others. You make it sound so easy. You're so mature and so good with people. Look, Monika has shown growth, but she is clearly still learning, and that's a good thing. I feel like such a child in comparison. No, you should feel like a child for treating someone younger than you like garbage, and then acting like a child when they retaliated. Oh Yuri, I'm far from perfect, but these are learned skills that don't come naturally to me either. It's really hard to reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts. I just want to be a good person. Well, I think it takes a good person to get this far. How far? She hasn't fucking done anything. This is actually infuriating because, once again, Yuri is being rewarded for her terrible behavior. That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate it to her. Communicate what? How I feel. How it makes me feel frustrated and upset when she's so negative and dismissive of the things that mean so much to me. Even though that I did that to her, and that she showed that she wanted to do the opposite. And I'm not going over this again. And how it reminds me of me, because I know how it feels to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself that you're better than everyone is just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable. But I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't stand it when the peace is disturbed like this. Yeah, you can't focus on your reading when the peace is disturbed, right? Because the literature club should be happy for everyone. Well, it's nice that you're willing to admit that you are the same as your projection of Natsuki. Monika looks at Yuri in adoration. I feel like Sayori must be rubbing off on me because I really want to hug you now. No! Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. No, I mean, well, if you really wanted to, then I wouldn't mind, so. Fuck! I hate this. I'm actually pissed. This infuriates me more than anything else. Monika pulls Yuri into a short embrace. You're so gentle. And I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel so lucky that I get to see that side of you. And I'm sure Natsuki will too. If this switches to a CG of fucking... Okay, good. I'm going to write her a letter. A letter! What a great idea. Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things, and I say things I don't mean. Well, I think a letter will be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate. Yuri's face hardens with determination. People don't naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you and Sayori. My personality isn't suited for that. I would like to say the same, but being quiet and brooding is how I met most of the people in my life, which is ironic. And I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I would have never seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposite in a lot of ways. But I'm friends with her because she put so much effort into understanding me so that we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience. And I wonder if she feels the same way. Natsuki? Yuri nods. I always thought that if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be someone that I'm not. That there's a type of person or magical formula I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me. To think like that. Always so occupied with myself that I fail to understand other people. Yuri shakes her head. Friendship happens when you think about the other person. When you offer time and effort to understand them, and respect them, and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observations of the literature club. Observations? Monika is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept to herself so much that it's unusual for her to talk about the club like this. Anyway, but Yuri gently smiles to herself. You always let me listen to your thoughts about people. Sayori too. And it makes me happy because I learn a lot of things. That's so sweet. I had no idea that it meant so much to you. Monika never thought much of it. In the past weeks, Yuri always seemed to be especially attentive when it came to the problems and concerns of others. I don't know why I didn't slow that down. Always wanting to listen and to learn about her friends in the club. It's true, Sayori and Monika are naturally more comfortable with other people and can more easily work through situations of conflict. But that doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses and the capacity to learn or improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflection and self-awareness. It is something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but that Monika can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. A very shy girl with long pretty hair is wandering the bustling lunchtime hallways, her fist pressed into her collarbone. When she finds the literature club president's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her before peering inside. Monika is sitting there, chatting with an unknown group of friends. Yeah, as expected, this was a bad idea after all. Suddenly, Monika glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck out of sight. Before she can regain composure and decide for sure to leave, the classroom door gently presses open. These people have convenient glance powers. Holy shit, it's like when a character is going to see each other at lunch, they conveniently glance. It's like the universe goes, hey, look this way. Yuri, what a surprise to see you at lunch. Yuri squeaks a response. Please help me. What? Is everything okay? Yuri shakes her head. I don't know how to write letters. Thank goodness, I thought there was some kind of emergency. That's hilarious. Monika briefly glances over her shoulders at her other friends. Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something. Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends. It's fine, I promise. We weren't really doing anything. One sec. Monika trots back into her classroom, says something like, I gotta go to a friend, and then grabs a pen off her desk before returning to Yuri. Okay, let's go find somewhere quiet. Yuri nods and follows Monika as the two of them set off. How are you today? Huh? Me? Oh, yes. Gosh. Sorry, I was just caught off guard. I'm doing well, just tired. I never seem to get enough sleep during the week. How come? Oh, I don't know. I think I just get easily distracted. I really get sucked into things and start neglecting the time. Me too. I do that too. Hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in here. After peering inside, Monika opens a classroom door and the two of them enter. Yuri's moment of relaxation ends. She watches as Monika pulls two chairs up to the same desk and then obeys as Monika beckons her to a seat. She stares down at the empty desk. You nervous? I don't want to do this. We don't have to. We can come up with something else. Yuri shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take the initiative. Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step outside your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you. Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen. Wow, this... Hey, you're left-handed. Neat. Wait. Why does this version of Yuri's face look so different? It must be me. This character, the art looks different, but I think it's just me. I think I'm going insane. Yeah. Now I don't have to worry about bumping your arm. Monika playfully rubs her shoulders against Yuri's. Sorry, I guess I'm being silly. Anyway, how about we start by listening to different things you want to say to her? Yuri thinks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden. Oh, it's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday? But, never mind, I guess I'll try. Yuri thinks for a moment, longer, her tension evident. Then she writes the word reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act this way towards each other, but I've been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monika. That's me. Yes, it is. So, Yuri thinks, I've been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests. The same goes for Natsuki too. We started off pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same. I want to do that. And stop being so fucking selfish. So what kinds of things do you want to do for her? I want to do the same things for her that I like to receive. I like it when people respond positively to things I talk about, not just brush me off. I like when my feelings are taken seriously. Oh, so you mean exactly what Natsuki was doing before you started treating her like garbage. Fair. And I like it when you and Sayori trust I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it. Let's write those things down, okay? Yuri writes some things down. The most important thing to remember here is that Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we have to make sure that the letter puts her first. It's hard when you're feeling hurt, but it never helps just to tell someone all the things they're doing wrong. I think the first thing you have to make sure that I think first you have to make sure that they know that you're ready to respect them and listen to them, Admit that the things that you feel you could do better. I apparently can't speak English. It's probably because, well, it's probably because Yuri has destroyed my cognitive understanding. Then finally you ask what you'd like in return. How does that sound like for the structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, 1 for each of these points. I like that. My thoughts were so disorganized I have no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. Gotta follow that. That. I can't even remember. I was gonna say narrative structure, but it's not. I know that's definitely not what I'm looking for. Paragraph structure, meal, and all those other ones. I know it's like 10 of them. Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know. You spent so much time reflecting and being open-minded. That's the hardest thing for anyone to do. Yeah, but you know what's funny? You did it and didn't have a fucking hissy fit. All I'm doing is help you put it on a piece of paper. So I think you're the amazing one. Monika gives Yuri's hand gives a quick squeeze. But she lets go. She's caught by the surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hook Monika's hand in place. For a while they stay like that in silence, save for the occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper. Yes, sir, you told me something that I'm thinking about a lot. What was that? The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they're just a state of the things we need to come to terms with. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always the thing, just how they decide to be. It's also made up of their past experiences and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow. You fucking... Oh my god. Yuri is so self-important that she thinks she's the main character. Is that how you feel about Natsuki? Yuri nods. But in reality, you still actively treat... Oh my god, I hate you. In reality, everyone is always trying to their best and everyone wants to be happy. Monika peers over at Yuri's paper. To her surprise, Yuri pulls it closer, partially covering it with her arm. I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know. It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I'd prefer others not to read it. Yuri laughs softly to herself, a rare expression. I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. Somehow I keep finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been so wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart, but... Yuri smiles. I'll always be terrible at these things. People are just so incomprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one. But listening to you has made me realize... Wait, what? But listening to you has really helped me make sense of some things. So just... don't call it damage, please. Monika gives Yuri a gentle smile. I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy geeks, and all I got was real friends who value me. Wow, yeah, I didn't get what I want. All I got were people who actually care. Fuck, you're obnoxious. Is that a joke? Of course it is. I can't tell with you because it doesn't sound like a joke. Sorry. No, love it. Please never change. No, do the opposite of that. Change. As you wish. Yuri glances at the clock. We're almost out of time. Will you be able to finish? Before the end of the day? Probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki reads it. I'm too shy. I can give it to her instead if you'd like. Yuri nods, as long as you promise not to read it. Of course I promise. Thank you. Yuri exhales and the two of them stand up. I'll message you when it's ready. Monika nods. Good luck. I'm here if you need me. Yuri returns a nod and the two depart. Music. I will go through like all of this. Pictures. I must be hallucinating. Look, there's one left. It's probably from the next side story. Wait, what? There's another poem that I don't have. Alright, let's go through all of these. Yes. Yeah. 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 Wait, hold on. Okay, no, the art's the same. I'm just delusional. Also, because it's the first time that Yuri smiled, like, in any of these. Look at this shit. She never smiles. That's why I was so confused. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. It's nice. I got all the backgrounds. See, that... Alright, cool. You know what? I'm done. I hate Yuri. And the next one's another focus one on Yuri. It's actually really ironic. Especially considering that, Natsuki and Sayori fucking stole the show. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you know you're loved. Hope you know you care for. And I wish that everyone around you is sane. Yeah, I know, right? And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.